Now let's talk about NHP and why it's the only answer to successful weight loss. Now for f***ing years, you and everyone else in this world have been doing the same thing over and over, jumping from one restrictive diet to the next, grinding through workouts that feel like punishment, eating foods for the sake of you thinking it's the right for fat loss, and basically just eliminating the life to get to this end goal of not being fat anymore. The ketos, the paleos, the light and easies, the man shakes, and all the bullshit in this world that is and has only been designed to make the problem worse. You're playing a game that's basically rigged against you. The percentage of individuals who lose weight and successfully maintain loss has been estimated to be as small as 1 to 3%, with a 97% rate regaining back what they've gained after 3 years, according to a meta-analysis data statistic. It is literally like going through roulette and having a 97% chance of failure. It's literally the same statistics as criminals going back to prison. Now let me ask you this, would you go and bet on a roulette table where you had a 98% chance of losing? No. At least with a roulette table, you walk away with less money, so you actually see the feedback. Now, the problem here is that every time you relapse, you actually gain the weight back and more. So you're actually doing yourself a disservice by doing keto here and then the man shake there and intermittent fasting here and all the other fad bullshit that you keep getting sucked into. And here's the kicker. It's not your f***ing fault. You've been using the wrong tools for the job. Nutrition and exercise will not get you there. So right now, I'm going to show you a whole new way, one that unlocks the power of your brain so you can transform your body permanently and give yourself a 98% chance of success rather than failure.
Just like Scott, who was always fighting against his temptations and emotional triggers, who used to binge eat in secret and then punish himself with starvation diets, and is now in full control of his food, eating what he loves, and finally shredded 35 kilos without guilt. And then there's Steve, who couldn't stay consistent longer than a week, kept saying, I'll start Monday for fucking years, and now he's training 4 times a week, tracking without stress, and has dropped over 14 kilos while still drinking beers on the weekend. Or even Simon, who once labelled himself the fat guy in every single room, avoided the mirrors, and felt like a walking contradiction. And now he's 27 kilos down, leading his family by example, and finally sees a man he respects staring back in the mirror at himself.
Now, this isn't about willpower. It's about rewiring the way that you think, the way that you feel, the way that you act. And I'll prove to you step by step right now. Your brain has been programmed to crave, to avoid, to fail, and its own built-in subconscious emotion protector. Each time that you give in to those cravings or you skip that workout, those patterns become more ingrained. And what you've done unconsciously is you have conditioned your brain to keep you stuck. And it just keeps getting easier and easier to get more and more stuck. This loop is the reason that diets and workout plans feel like an endless cycle and frustration. It simply doesn't work for the long term. You're fighting your brain every single day. If you put your brain in my body, do you think that you would have a fat loss problem? The answer is no. Your body's not the problem. It's what sits in your brain, and that is where every other diet misses. Now here's where it gets exciting. Your brain is plastic, and it can change, and it can rewire itself based on new behaviors, new thoughts, and new emotions. This is called neuroplasticity, and it's your brain's ability to break free from the old patterns and create new ones. With neural health patterning, NHP, we reprogram your brain to think and act in ways that serve your fat loss goals automatically. We'll literally reshape the way that you respond to food, exercise, and stress. We start by identifying your brain's current patterns, eating through emotion, skipping exercise through laziness, etc. The thoughts and emotional triggers that lead you down the wrong path. From there, we use a series of scientifically proven techniques to rewire these patterns. The brain is not fixed. Thanks to neuroplasticity, it can change and form new neural connections throughout life. So neural health patterning is a proprietary methodology that I've put together over decades of being in the industry. And as you can imagine, I can't give away all of my secrets in this video, or else why would anybody need me? But this is the simplified science on how it works. Instead of going cold turkey from your old ways to your new behaviors, we focus on working with the neurons in your brain. It's impossible just to cut neurons that are so strongly fused together with decades of bad habits. The way that we do it is to require new neurons in the brain. So think about like taking a back road that already exists to get around a traffic jam versus trying to build a new road. Over time, as you realize it's just a faster way, you start feeling like it's the way to travel during the peak hour. That's the simplest way to articulate what we do. Instead of cutting what already exists, we scientifically work with your brain and behavior to guide them. In fact, I actually spent months studying why your prefrontal cortex, which controls all of the decisions, wants to keep you fat. Think of him as the GPS in your car. He is set in his ways and gets lazy at times. But like your GPS, when you take him down a path that you know is better, He'll adjust and convince himself it was his idea. And we have found out how to be predictable and point him in the right direction to make weight loss decisions, which funnily enough lands into the last part of NHP methodology. Hijacking your dopamine, the same chemical that kept you stuck in bad habits, to your advantage by creating positive reinforcement loops. When you associate positive feelings like confidence and gratitude with new behaviors, you trigger dopamine release. Over time, your brain starts craving the new healthy behaviors, just like it used to crave the old negative behaviors, making you love the weight loss journey and the food that you eat and everything that is creating this new lifestyle long term. Your brain has been your biggest enemy and you didn't even know it. Every time you try a new diet, a new workout, you're forcing yourself to swim upstream. You're fighting against neural pathways that have been hardwired for years. That's why you feel stuck. That's why the fat keeps coming back. Now, what if I told you that you don't have to keep fighting? What if instead of pushing against your brain, you could actually reprogram it to work with you? That's the power of NHP. NHP is the key to unlocking lasting fat loss. It's your brain's ability to change its structure, to form new pathways, to create a new way of thinking and of being. When we use neural health patterning and neuroplasticity, we are tapping into this natural process. We're not just slapping a band-aid on the problem, we're getting to the root cause of it. Through NHP, we identify the patterns in your brain that have been holding you back, patterns around food, movement, and stress. Then we literally rewire those patterns, creating new neural health pathways that support fat loss and healthy living. This isn't just a theory. This is real, proven science. And when those pathways become stronger, you don't just lose the fat, you keep it off because your brain has been fundamentally changed. You're standing at a crossroads right now. You can either keep doing what you've been doing, all the different fads, always stuck in those old patterns, fighting the same uphill battle every single day, or you can choose a different path. The path where your brain becomes your greatest asset. Imagine how powerful you'd feel if your brain was working with you and not against you. Neural health patterning is the answer. It's the key to finally achieving lasting fat loss and vibrant health without struggle. You don't need another restrictive diet or grueling workout plan. You need a brain that's been wired for success, and that's exactly what NHP delivers. Now click below to start your transformation. Don't wait for the perfect moment, create it. Your future self will thank you.